You know, I'm probably not going to be the first nor last guy to do these animated fast talk video game guys, but I'll definitely be the first one to do it on Hearts of Iron 4, the grand strategy game based on World War II politics, which the theme itself might explain why nobody has done this before, but we're doing this, and we're doing it on Germany. First off, the Germany we're talking about, it will be the Germany in the vanilla-based game, so we can avoid you crying over the fact you wasted all your money on the game itself and not on the included DLCs that comes with it. Also, I am not a VR guru because I use facts and logic. And the real reason we're starting off with Germany is because it's perfect for noobs and new players, since it controls most of the events that can happen in the game. A few things to know as being Germany: you start off with the Miefelbil's national spirit, which boosts construction, and the fascist ideology, which means you can justify and declare war out of nowhere, and thanks to the national spirit, bitter loser, you have your own faction. But you're not able to do any crap because you have a demilitarized zone and crap manpower pool, but that can be changed with the conscription laws by political power, and you might be able to do it soon, thanks to the 25% boost trait from the short mustachio man. And if people are wondering about war crimes being in the game, there are no war crimes in the game because the developers are from Europe, for obvious reasons, so they didn't put it in the game. You overly serious nerds. So back to the video, Germany has 5 starting focuses, starting out with the 4-year plan tree, which helps boost research, construction, and production, as it starts off by giving you industrial research and advisors, and continues with the branch by giving you forts in every nick and cranny in the country, no matter how much territory you got, to getting more factories and more research for resources, to making Hungary and Romania your puppets. But without DLCs, you'll probably get good as free land lease and get with a focus with more puppets and occupied territories, which means more micromanagement. Army innovation is obvious, as it helps speed up army research, and includes one research boost between you and the Soviets, that is if they agree, and you're able to make a non-aggression pact between the two of you to even commit to a full-on alliance that'll, hey, don't even think about turning this into a country human art, you scum of DeviantArt. Anyway, it'll eventually lead to making Turkey your puppet, but again, in the playing game, you'll basically be getting an infinite supply of kebabs. Same goes with naval rearmament, as it obviously boosts naval research, but let's be honest, you'll be putting all your research to super heavy battleships like everyone else who plays this game. The branch divides between shove more submarines down your gullet or Plan Z, which helps make alliances with most of Scandinavia and the Benelux. And if one of the focuses say befriend Denmark, I'm pretty sure it's supposed to say Northern Germany, because Denmark isn't a real country, but this focus should be helpful when you invade Britain in the game. Air innovation should be obvious. You'll get to choose between 2 focuses that will help research on planes that bomb enemy civilians or planes that bomb both the enemy civilians and soldiers. The only thing that is worth time in this branch is the focus that helps research nukes faster, so you'll be able to spam them left and right. Finally, remilitarized their island, does what it says, but Britain and France get the choice to put their foot down or be puss-ass and back down, which happens most of the time. But if they don't back down, you get the debuff spirit and war on the horizon. But regardless, down the line, you'll get to choose to either befriend the anime mecha that is Japan to recall Fox in China in return for their navy to possibly attack allied colonies, or border guard China by buffing them so you, in the future, you might be able to give the Comintern 2 fronts. And speaking of the Comintern, you'll be able to do a anti-Comintern pact, which pact members exchange information about the Comintern members, or take it up a notch and do a defensive anti-Soviet pact to even declare war on the Soviets. And it'll obviously break the Molotov-Ribbentrop pact if you already took it. And there's the Anschluss sub-branch where you give Austria a ultimatum to either be annexed peacefully or go through war, and branches diverge, allowing you to either make more friends and puppets or annex most of them like Sudetenland. But don't do this stuff historically accurate when you're weaker than the Allies, because if you do, not only there's a high chance you're screwed, but you're also a retard for thinking that way about this game. But regardless, if you do get Sudetenland, you'll be able to choose Czechoslovakia's fate. Those Vienna awards help increase relations with Hungary, and the second awards allow you to threaten Romania to give northern Transylvania to Hungary. Same goes with the Ljubljana award with Bulgaria, but you'll decrease your opinion on them. The award would also happen unto Italy under special circumstances. And it continues with the fate of Greece and Yugoslavia, but with Greece you can decide its fate or give them an ultimatum for war or be your puppet. However, it doesn't matter if your method with your weak neighbors is hostile actions or peaceful alliances. You have to keep in mind about the inevitable war with the Allies, because if you win the war, you'll be able to replace middle losers with triumphant will, which gives the same effect, but also gives you a daily PP boost of 1 and a 50% ideological defense. But wait a minute, didn't you say something about the Germany couldn't have possibly won the war? Yeah, I did say something like that, but that's real life. This is a game. You win in a game. So in a nutshell about playing Germany, you want to space out the annex-based focuses to avoid generating too much tension, and in between focuses, buff up your army as much as you can, so when the time comes to annexing, you want to have a strong army that'll make the allies piss their pants and say yes to every demand. But it'll be long before they'll say no and go to war over it. Being a fascist major, you also want to make sure that other fascists around the map come to power, especially with National Spain in the Spanish Civil War that basically happens in every playthrough. Because if Republican Spain wins, then not only do you have to fear a giant front with the Soviet Union, but a second front that will mostly come from a Comintern communist Spain. But regardless if Spain joins or not, keep in mind that somebody might break through through the door, and it could be Russia or Britain or the United States. Basically, anyone who has the focus kick Germany's ass. But don't forget you have a faction of your own, so keep your allies close and your enemies closer. Now you know what you can and should do as Germany. Now go play the game.